Hello, everybody, and welcome to Money Matters. If you enjoy learning about crypto and other investment topics and making money, please subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy the content, then hit that like button as well. Let's get going. As a disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, nor do I give financial advice. This is solely for your entertainment, based on my opinion. Let's take a quick look at the market, which one red, that looks pretty darn good. I'm very, very happy. I have to say that it was going in different directions throughout the day, but for the most part, we have seen nothing short of seemingly a miracle from where we were anyway. And I put 3 stars up here today because Bitcoin is fighting. It's been as close to 40 as you could probably get. And Ethereum has just muscled back into the mid 2s. And I really put a star here next to Uniswap just because they were the biggest percentage leader in the ones that I was looking at. So I think there's a couple of takeaways here in the fact that the market is strong. There is a lot of recovery that's taking place from the shakeout. I think a lot of short-term retail investors, those are the folks who bought over the last 30 days or 2 months, were actually shaken out of the market because they bought so high, they were petrified. There was a lot of things that went into it. And I do think that there is solid support for Bitcoin. There's a lot of institutions that are buying in. There's support keeping it from dropping anymore. I think once we pull above the $40,000 mark and stay there kind of regularly, we should be set to move on up. I don't know that we're going to have that, although today was a pretty good jump for everything really, but I don't really know that we're going to have that, straight V up rebound coming out of it. But my hope is that we have a pretty straight V up with some consolidation to the right at a couple of different levels with respect to Bitcoin. And that will help the support of the altcoins. And we want to see those go at least up as high as they were before. And I think I've lost track at the percentage range that we're looking at, but I think we've recouped maybe about a third of what we lost earlier. So we still have a ways to go. And I'm still looking for Ethereum to make a comeback as well. The rules are solid there. It has detached from Bitcoin. And I do think it will start to pave its own way once things get back to normal. Well, of course, what is normal in crypto? There is no normal. Normal is not being normal consistently. But I do think that it's going to recover and move up towards 5,000. I just think, again, the time span that we're looking at here is a bit longer. And it's interesting to look back at the previous 2 bull cycles and look at the timing from start to finish. Look at the timing at events between start and finish, how long it takes during consolidation periods or how long it takes to go up a certain percentage. Everything seems to be stretched out this time around. And I know there's a lot of talk about diminishing returns, which I fully believe that to be true. As time goes by, those returns will be less and less. And I think the volatility will drop as well. However, I still think it's very interesting. And I don't know if you can attribute that completely to institutional buyers. In fact, I was reading an article today that said 1/2 of all of the funds available have already bought into or just on the cusp of buying into Bitcoin. That is a lot of money. Now, remember, that's just a foot in the door. They're not going all in. They're just getting their feet wet. So the amount of money that's going to keep coming in is going to be vast. And I think the dates that keep running through all conversations lead to July. Apparently, that's a timing, a point in time where a lot of these companies or a lot of these funds will be coming into the market or becoming exposed or being able to buy Bitcoin. It's like turning around a battleship. They can't just go out and write a check and whatever. They have to go through a long drawn out process in order to do that. So it should be interesting. June is going to be a very interesting month. I think we're still going to have a bit of volatility, quite a bit of volatility, and we may see a couple of drops down outside of consolidation, but I think the recovery would be very quick and it won't be anything remotely like we've just experienced. So things are looking bright right now. We just need to keep holding on and keep going forward. In the news today, this is just a tag off of the news that came out last week with respect to China, banning Bitcoin, which that's not what they're doing, but they did reiterate the policies that were established in 2017 regarding cryptocurrency and mining within the country. And all indicators point towards them really following through with a lot of this, a lot of the threats or a lot of the policies that they've put into place and actually enforcing them with respect to mining. There's a couple of major miners in China that are looking at their operations there and scrambling to see what they can do about moving them to different countries. In fact, I can't remember the name of the country, but there was one major miner that did move part of their I can't remember where it was. Started with the K though, and moved out of the country and established a mining community or whatever you want to call it there. This to me would be great, and there's quite a few reasons. Number one, first of all, China wants to control everything. And I can't imagine that they're really stupid enough to let the control of mining of Bitcoin leave their country. But if indeed they are, then more power to them, because it is very centralized there. There's a lot of risk associated with that. So I would love to see more decentralization when it comes to the mining activities for Bitcoin and spread it around the world. There's a lot of other places that have started to build up capacity with respect to mining. In Texas, I know, and I know that there's a Chinese company that's there, but there's other facilities around the world that are scaling up to produce more or to mine more Bitcoin. So it would be a great thing to see that wrestled away from or given away from the Chinese to the rest of the world. I would look at it as a benefit for the entire crypto community, especially for Bitcoin. I think what they're doing here is they're laying the groundwork for really pushing their central currency. And if you've been reading anything about China and what their intentions are with this, I'm not really sure that it has much to do with jumping on the crypto bandwagon at all. It has all to do with surveillance, control of their entire population. And that's a big population to have control of. They already have the greatest surveillance, greatest being most vast surveillance system in the world. Pales, nothing comes even close to it. And now they're going to be able to see exactly what people are spending money on, when, where. They'll be able to control who can spend it, take it away, give whatever they want to do. This is kind of like the last bastion for full control over their society. So I think that's why they're being so liberal in giving this away. The importance of having that versus the control that they would have with mining on Bitcoin is just no contest for them. So it will be interesting to see if they do follow through, and if a lot of the mining companies do shut down within China and other companies pick up the pace, or other companies relocate out of China to other countries. So I'm interested to see how this happens or how this unfolds. And I think it's going to happen fairly quickly. I wanted to touch on a couple of things in retrospect, and this is a short retrospect to what happened last week and kind of over the weekend. The brevity of the situation, the brevity of the event that happened is just now really starting to unfold and solidify. On this chart here, you can see what happened with respect to the drop in Bitcoin. And we're looking at about a 47%. I think that if you see where the blue arrow is pointing on the screen here to that big red candle before we dropped the 47%, that was a substantial drop in itself. And that was really kind of broadcast by a couple of events that happened within the space, including a little bit of manipulation on that one, and a lot of tweeting and FUD that was going through the market. It was ripe for disruption, and it was like the perfect storm. So in all actuality, this was a very, very impactful event, something that rivals anything else that's happened to Bitcoin. If we look at this chart, we can see visually just how big this was. And this is in comparison with, like you can see, 2018, January, November, and then March when COVID hit, the impact that had. Look at the difference. This was an amazingly staggering, unbelievable negative impact on the market. So this is kind of something that you'll probably be seeing coming out over time, just to show how bad this really was. And I think that we're really only kind of scratching the surface of some of the impacts down the road too. And again, the retail investors were hit extremely hard here. These are people who, for whatever reason, may or may not have overinvested. They were late to the game in the sense that they really weren't they really weren't aware of what was happening in the market. They were just jumping on the FOMO bandwagon, and they were devastated. Especially anybody who went with something like Bybit and their leverage trading with money that they really can't afford to lose, and it really did devastate a lot of people. So hopefully, folks can recover from that and learn from their mistakes. Hopefully we can learn from that and just keep it in the back of our mind. But with great disaster, as you can see here, this was a giant disaster, comes some opportunity. So today, this is just part of the chart for today, and I pulled this out because it has such a pretty jump on it. It was just so nice to see something going up that far so fast that it just made me happy, and I wanted to share that. Again, we're looking at this $40,000 mark. My official floor for operation was 42. So, dropping past that down into, the low 30s or 30 and beyond it blew me away. I couldn't even fathom that happening. I'll never make that mistake again. However, I do think that there is solid support in a lot of ways at the $42,000 mark. But we have to get past that 40 mark. And I think that that's a psychological barrier more than anything else. There's still a lot of money waiting to come in. And I'm not really sure what the delay is, whether it's shell shock or something else, or the fact that the people who are manipulating the market already bought up all the Bitcoin that they want. That could be too. But it is nice to see it going up. And I do think that that trend will continue. Not to say there won't be corrections or anything like that, but I think that we will be heading up for the last leg of the bull run. How long that leg lasts, I can't tell you, because things keep changing, but people were calling September, the first part of 2022, July. But I think for Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's going to be drawn out for quite some time. And the altcoins, on the other hand, are just like, I can't get a pulse on it right now. It could be a very short time frame, or it could be drawn out. If Bitcoin starts to go on a horizontal consolidation, it could be drawn out for some time. But at least we're seeing it go up, and that kind of makes everybody feel better. I feel better anyway. I'll be able to sleep better tonight. I'm not going to look at the chart before I go to bed, though. Advance. I think my battery's dead. Oh, well, that's okay. We'll just keep going regardless. So let's just do a little recap. With China, we want to say that they're kind of doing us a favor by looking at pulling all the strings out for their crackdown on mining and cryptocurrency within the country outside of their cryptocurrency. And if it goes through as planned, then we'll probably see a lot of benefit coming out of it for the entire industry, especially Bitcoin, with respect to decentralization and being able to have other countries and other locations pick up that mining, so it's not centrally located. I think that, again, we kind of touched on what the brevity of this particular market was with respect to the correction and how it impacted people. And I think that we will find out more and more as time goes by just how bad it was. And I think that it's as bad as you feel. So it was pretty bad. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. We see things going up now. And I think that they'll continue on a rough and rocky path, but they'll get there. And I'd like to hear your comments as well. What are you thinking? How do you feel about this? Do you think that we're out of the woods? Do you think that we're going to be heading back up? Let me know. It would be interesting to find out what other people's perspectives are. And if there's any special projects that you'd like for me to cover as far as researching them to see how profitable or any types of information with respect to those projects, I'd be happy to do it. Just drop them in the comment section and I'll take it on. And last but not least, winners never quit. And quitters never win. Always give your very best effort to overcome the challenges that you face in life. I hope you had a great day. I had a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.